Who killed Tupac and Biggie? I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way. More Biggie than Tupac.
Not a day goes by without new info coming out about Sean Diddy Combs. With all this attention on Diddy is making people do a lot more than take a closer look at his parties. People are also re-examining his alleged role at the center of the two most notorious murders in hip-hop history, the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. On November 30th of 1994, Tupac was invited by Biggie to Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. At this point, Pac and Big were extremely close. Lil Cease, one of Biggie's protégés, claims that Biggie visited Pac's house frequently and they even traveled together. But Pac would later claim that Puffy was blowing up his phone non-stop after he was invited to Quad. In fact, Pac claimed that Diddy was unusually focused on the exact time that he would arrive to the studio. As soon as Pac walked right into the lobby of Quad Studios that night, he was confronted by 3 armed men who tried to rob him. Pac fought and struggled with their assailants and tried to grab one of their guns, but the men shot Pac 5 times, pistol whipped him, and robbed him of over $40,000 worth of jewelry. And Pac survived the shooting, but blamed both Biggie and Puffy for the robbery, claiming that they betrayed him and set him up to be shot.
I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about.
In 1995, Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row, rolled up on his entourage of Mob Piru Bloods to a birthday party for the rapper-producer Jermaine Dupri. One of the gang members in Suge's entourage was his close friend and right-hand man, Big Jake. When Suge saw that Puffy was at Jermaine Dupri's party, he directly confronted him, leading to a fight. Suge and his Bloods were forced to leave the party, but gunshots suddenly started ringing out everywhere. Everyone ducked for cover and saw a gunman firing bullets into the air. As everyone was distracted, somebody walked up to Suge's associate Big Jake and shot him from behind. Eyewitnesses claim that the man who shot Big Jake was none other than Puffy's bodyguard, Wolf. In Las Vegas on September 7th of 1996, the war went deeper and darker than anyone could have imagined.
People can call Suge a lot of shit, but I don't think Suge would have put himself in that type of situation knowing that he's going to jail.
Tupac was in town for a Mike Tyson fight. After the match, he climbed into a black BMW driven by Suge Knight. Then a white Cadillac pulled up alongside the car and a gunman started shooting from the back seat. Suge Knight was struck once in the head while Pac was shot 4 times. Suge and Pac were rushed to the hospital, and while Suge would recover from his injuries, Pac remained on life support before passing away 6 days later. 27 years later, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department arrested Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a Southside Crip, and charged him with Tupac's murder. But the wildest part about all this is Keefe D had been publicly vocal about his connection to Tupac's shooting for years. In his memoir, Compton Street Legend, Keefe D describes in detail the night of Pac's murder. And what's even wilder is that he claims Diddy himself ordered the hit on Tupac and promised to pay out $1 million for the assassination of not only Pac, but also Suge Knight. In his book, Keefe D describes the meeting and says that Puffy was full of fear when he ordered the hit on Pac. And Biggie Smalls and Puffy were in attendance at a Soul Train Awards after party in LA. Biggie and Diddy being in LA was especially significant because this was at the height of the East Coast West Coast beef and they were practically in enemy territory. Lil Cease, Diddy's protege, says that they got advice from both the streets and industry associates that it was a bad idea for the Bad Boy team to be out in LA, but Diddy insisted that they show face. Kirk Burroughs, the former president of Bad Boy, verified that Biggie was actually scheduled to travel to London on that very same day for a press event that would have seen him meet up with a panel of international journalists. This press conference would have been a major boost to Biggie's career since it would have helped platform him on a global level. Not only would this have elevated Biggie's star status, but it also would have been good for Bad Boy Records and Diddy himself. But at the very last minute, Diddy called Kirk Burroughs and told him that Biggie would be remaining in LA and to cancel the London press tour even though a lot of money had already been spent on the event. What's even stranger is that Diddy didn't just want Biggie to attend the award show, he stressed it was very important that Biggie showed up for the after party. Biggie was still recovering from a car accident, which meant he either needed a wheelchair or a cane to move around. Despite all that, Diddy pulled the boss card and forced Biggie to come to LA and scrap his London press junket. After midnight, Biggie and Diddy left the after party and got into 2 different vehicles. As Biggie's truck stopped at a red light, a black Chevy Impala pulled up alongside it and the driver rolled down the window and fired at Biggie, shooting him 4 times. From there, Biggie's team rushed him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. He was only 24 years old. Reports also emerged that Biggie was actively looking to leave Bad Boy Records before he was shot, and that Diddy was fighting Biggie's lawyers to retain control of Biggie's publishing rights. After Biggie's death in 1997, Rolling Stone magazines even approached Diddy, offering a cover opportunity. Kirk Burroughs advocated for the team to put Biggie on the cover as a posthumous tribute to Bad Boy's flagship artist. According to an investigation released by Rolling Stone, Diddy refused, saying, "No, he's dead. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone." Not only did Rolling Stone put Diddy on the cover, but he used Biggie's death to promote his debut solo album, No Way Out. In May of 1997, just 2 months after the murder, Diddy released I'll Be Missing You, a tribute song to Biggie that featured the notorious B.I.G.'s estranged wife, Faith Evans. The song was a record-shattering success. It spent 11 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100, won a Grammy for the best rap performance by a duo or group, and made history as one of the best-selling singles ever. Diddy himself even admitted that he directly benefited from Biggie's demise. In a 1999 interview with Rolling Stone, Diddy claimed, "I think Biggie's passing added to the fame," and then claimed that at least 2 million copies of No Way Out sales were due to Biggie's death.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In recent years, strange things have been happening to some of the people who have known Diddy the longest. Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of Diddy's children, was reportedly working on a memoir about her life and relationship with Puffy. And sources say that Kim was not being shy about her book project. Rumors surfaced that Kim confronted Diddy's former mentor Andre Harrell over lunch, reportedly over videos she recorded of Andre being intimate with Diddy. Sources even claim that he asked Andre to come clean about his relationship with Diddy. According to Mark Curry, a former Bad Boy artist, Diddy was conducting around-the-clock surveillance on Kim, including tapping her phone. But on November 15th of 2018, Kim Porter shockingly passed away at the age of 47. The autopsy reports claimed that Kim passed due to pneumonia, but she had no pre-existing conditions. Jaguar Wright, Diddy's former assistant, even made claims that Kim Porter's toxicology report showed signs of poisoning. She even says that Diddy had a custom-made casket for her bought and picked out 3 weeks before Kim Porter died. Andre Harrell, the man Diddy credits with giving him a shot at the music business in the first place, died on May 7th of 2020 after reportedly suffering from heart problems. Andre was Diddy's longtime mentor and role model, and he passed away just a year and a half after Kim Porter. One of the few remaining people who would know the true details behind Diddy and Andre Harrell's relationship would be Al B. Sure, one of the founding members of Uptown Records. Regardless, Al B. Sure came close to death in July of 2022 when he fell into a mysterious coma for months. He ended up waking up from his coma in October of 2022, but no explanation was given for what caused the bizarre medical episode. On the other hand, his illness sounds a lot like what Jaguar Wright was talking about when it comes to undetectable poison, and I'll Be Sure himself implied that Diddy may have been involved. Just days after Diddy's Miami and LA homes were raided by agents from the Department of Homeland Security, I'll Be Sure said,
"And you really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security."
I'll Be Sure even announced a documentary and called for additional investigation into the untimely death of his former partner, Kim Porter.
So what do y'all think? Is Diddy really the mastermind behind these tragic deaths? Or is he just caught up in some crazy, guilty by association mess? Sound off in the comments and let us know your thoughts on this mind-blowing dilemma.